Hey, remember the singing silencer, the arbiter of acceptable speech who serenaded us about truth and propaganda even as she took our tax cash to run an insulting ministry of truth in D.C.?
It's how you hide a little lie.
Well, the maven of misinformation, Nina Jankowicz, is in the news again. And like her previous work, her new endeavor appears to be all about pushing the leftist narrative, this time as a registered foreign agent. Hi everyone, I'm Gardner Goldsmith for MRCTV. Oh, they were good times, weren't they? For a few wonderful weeks, Americans got to enjoy the lovely sound of political hypocrisy, translated into song. Yes, everything from the hypocrisy of George W. Bush and his administration creating the Constitution-defying, Teutonic-sounding Department of Homeland Security, to the Biden Department of so-called Justice and his Attorney General Merrick Garland secretly working with the leftist heads of the National School Boards Association and labeling as potential terrorists concerned parents who air their grievances at local school and town meetings. Well, they all seem to combine. They all seem to fuse in the early days of May as they were manifested in the figure of the DHS's singing Ministry of Truth director, Nina Jankowicz. Yeah, remember that? She was the embodiment of gaslighting, taking a position with a government-run speech policing unit that amazingly portrayed itself as a fighter against fascism. Completely oblivious to the dark irony, Jankowicz, the state arbiter of correct speech, even sang a reworking of Mary Poppins' supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, accusing others of lying, fascism, and various forms of hate. It certainly all was enough to eventually see her step aside, but not before she had ample opportunities to promote her little book, making the same elitist claim to be able to label the speech of others as propagandistic and hateful. And she didn't hightail it until the feds seemingly had her replacement, the slippery I made tons off airport scanners deep state cog and former DHS head Michael Chertoff, all prepared to take her place at the bizarrely titled Disinformation Governance Board. In other words, the Ministry of Truth actually still exists, contrary to the Constitution and contrary to basic ethics, and Nina Jankowicz is back in the news as well. This time, she's singing as a propagandist once more, but this time for foreign interests. According to Breitbart's Joel P. Pollack, quote, Nina Jankowicz, the would-be disinformation czar who was dropped from the Department of Homeland Security after public scrutiny, has now registered officially as a foreign agent, according to government records. And those government records show that she has filed as a representative in D.C. for the London-based Center for Information Resilience. So, evidently, she's opposed to propaganda, unless she's getting paid to push it as a lobbyist in Washington. But just what exactly is this nebulous-sounding Center for Information Resilience, CIR? And why does information have to be given the added qualifier of resilient? If it's truthful, if it's factual and validly believable, can't it be set free without teams of people handling it? Well, the CIR appears to be a leftist narrative promoter populated by leftists who have extensive backgrounds already pushing burdensome leftist narratives. For example, the president of CIR is Tomas Hendrik Ilves, who formerly worked not as a plumber or proprietor of another customer-serving business, but as a politician in the EU. And more important, as Vice President of Foreign Affairs, the Foreign Affairs Committee for the European Parliament between 2004 and 2006, and as the Foreign Minister of Estonia between 1996 and 2002, where, get this, he led Estonia's EU and NATO accession process. So you can assess for yourself how informationally resilient the CIR positions will be when compared to actual reality, to peace, and to an end to all this US and EU meddling all around the world. And since Nina's latest so-called report for CIR appears to be an amplification of her Ministry of Truth gaslighting technique, that being to label as hateful those Americans who rightfully defended free speech against her libelous and treacherous smears, well, it looks like the CIR also will be using that rhetorical smear technique to continue labeling as hateful anyone who opposes leftists in the political or social spheres worldwide. Yep, when you're looking for a thrilling read, just check out her exciting new screed called Announcing the Hypatia Project, Combating Gendered Abuse and Disinformation. Oh yeah. And remember, if you criticize those who would use government to shut you down, why, that's hateful and reflective of either white supremacy, fascism, sexism, LGBTQ phobia, or some other kind of psychoanalytic term that they can bandy about to try to relegate your information and opinions to the dustbin. So, it appears that Nina isn't really singing a different tune at all. She's just singing it for a foreign organization that will pay her to lobby for their cause in Washington, where a whole lot of assumptive politicians think they can play with our money. And of course, they will all sing happily as they head to the bank to deposit their checks. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Happy holidays. We are gearing up for some good times in North America, all around the world. Thank you for being part of this great group of kindred spirits. Please visit MRCTV.org. MRCTV.org. As the year ends, consider gifting a little something to the Media Research Center as a donation in the 35th year of the Media Research Center. Please visit us on Rumble for our videos and sign up there. It's free, of course, and you can share and you can click the plus button to help push us up in the algorithms. A lot of good people are joining Rumble now. It's really great. And of course, we're still on YouTube, as long as they allow us, as long as their Ministry of Truth doesn't hit us. And we'll see you in the comments section there. We'll also see you on Twitter. We'll see you at TikTok and Instagram. We'll see you on Parler, yay Parler. And we will also see you in the Facebook group, which is very busy. I mentioned it before. If you want to find me, I'm trying to mention it in each video. If you want to find me on Gab, I'm at Gardner Goldsmith, and on Twitter, I'm at Gard Goldsmith. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. For MRC TV, I'm Gardner Goldsmith, and that's the truth.